This is Georgia 551 and we are going to do a hotel tour of Disney's, which you can't see up there. All-Star Movies Resort. Now, there are 3 All-Star resorts on this particular piece of property. The All-Stars Movies, which we're going to show you. And over there, visible, is All-Star Music, and further down, All-Star Sports. They're all the same, pretty much. Just a theme change, different designs on the buildings. But overall, the buildings and the layouts are exactly the same. The rooms are the same. Like I said, only thing different are the themes and some of the coloring. So everything, as mentioned, is very identical. Now, where I'm standing is where you go and get yourself a bus to various places like Disney's Animal Kingdom, which you cannot see. I gotta keep talking because they decided to play some copyrighted music all of a sudden. There was no music playing before. And here's one for, I don't know how well that's gonna come out, Downtown Disney. There's others for Epcot, Magic Kingdom, of course. And so now we gotta go in and show you the hotel. So we're gonna go very quickly so we don't get a bunch of copyright strikes in the process. The main entry is down there. We're gonna come in this way. And as the door opens, we are greeted with double feature. This is the Disney store. As you can see, you get all sorts of souvenirs and what have not. I'm hoping I don't get a copyright strike. That is the door that you come in, which comes to the hotel lobby. The concierge service, check-in, check-out, everything done there, including amenities, vouchers, and what have not. And of course, restrooms. And each of the 3 resorts, we'll get to that later, because it's solely based on movie theme. As you can see, Rialto, Roxy, Grand, Lyric, and Majestic. Security walk by, they don't care. The only flaw here is in order to know what each restaurant is serving, you gotta actually read the menu. There is no specific theme to each. The Grand, in the case of this hotel, is where you just get, you know, anything out of the freezer like cakes, muffins, soda. And that's all there is. Rialto is ice cream. Roxy, I think, is chicken and hamburgers and French fries. Lyric, I'm not sure. Majestic is Italian, and like I said, each hotel is a different theme, so that will be completely different. And of course they have posters here, movies. We're not going to go into that, because that's copyright. And each one also has, let me get this way here, also has a outdoor / indoor bar. In this case, with the movie theme, Silver Screen Spirits. They sell your alcohol. It's a bar. It's also a sports bar. They have TVs showing sports. You can also get non-alcoholic beverages there. And if we head right outside, again, there's the arcade and an ATM. We come out of this building and you come out to the resort space itself. Now the spaces are laid out differently depending upon the resort. They're not all the same. It's the only single theme in which both its built identical. For example, this is the 101 Dalmatians theme. And pardon if the picture is shaking. We are trying to do this really quick. And so here we are. I mean, it looks really dark, but it is lit fairly well. And as you can see here, the fire hydrant is, in this particular setup, there's a fire hydrant on both ends which hides a stairwell. And in the middle of each building is a large sculpture depicting the theme of that building. And in the case of this 101 Dalmatians part of the resort, a large Dalmatian. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the video as I got a little ways to go to show you some other amenities. We're here on the other side, and there's two buildings here. The Mighty Ducks theme. It's the same. The large sculpture is hockey goal mask there with hockey sticks adorning the sides and the stairwells. And the stairwells are hockey nets. Now, in the center where the main building comes out, there is a laundromat. There's also a laundromat here on the opposite end. Again, on each of the three resorts, positions may vary. And this is the Mighty Ducks one. And what we're going to do is to try and not get people's faces in this video. In order to use it, you need a room key. And that opens the door. And here we have 8 washers, $2 a piece. This one's busted. And try not to get people in the frame. Change machine and soap for $1.25. And just so they don't feel uncomfortable, there are 10 dryers. They cost $2 and they run 30 minutes. Sorry for the poor viewing, but you know, we gotta try and respect people's privacy. And over here on the end, and where everything is centralized, there is a swimming pool. And each one does have a lifeguard station, but sometimes the lifeguards are not present when we swim. We have a towel return, and remember that video arcade that I showed you a while back? Believe it or not, that is where you get life jackets. I would never think to go to the arcade to get a life jacket. And over here, if the camera wants to focus, it's not. We continue this hockey theme with this fake scoreboard. The fake scoreboard does not really work except for the clock. And right here we start to notice maintenance issues with the complex. They don't even maintain the clocks. So yeah, some maintenance problems do occur. And over here I've come at a point in which they water the lawns. And we're gonna cut through this, again, somebody was coming, so we come through the Mighty Ducks. Not the Mighty Ducks. It's late. It's past midnight and I'm doing this. And so this is the Dalmatians. Each building is T-shaped. You've seen the front end because I've shown you that they're adorned with decorations and a massive decoration in the middle. And in the middle you have 3 hallways bringing you to the main thoroughfare. There's hallway 1, hallway 2, which typically contains an elevator. And behind the elevators you have a vending machine for soda and ice. That is typical of all the rooms and the buildings, should I say. And a third hall that just connects here. Okay, we're on the main side, and over there is the main building where we showed you the cafeteria, eatery, and all that stuff. And over here is the other swimming pool. Again, everything may be slightly positioned different depending upon the theme of the all-star resort you're staying in. And that is the washing laundromat area over there. This is the building I'm in. It's Fantasia in this case. It's brooms and a giant the giant Mickey Mouse hat that he wore in the movie. And again over there we've got ourselves toy soldiers. Sony does not focus. Ballerina and a giant blurry Jack-in-a-Box, because this thing just does not work. Now, as I've mentioned, there are some maintenance issues with this place. For example, and we're not going to ride them, but I've already ridden them, is we have Series 1 Otis Elevators. They replaced the call stations with a modern Series 5 fixture. But most of these don't run very well. They're poorly maintained. Buttons are staying missing. They don't run too well. Again, soda machine, vending machine. Another problem is the sprinklers. They tend to go off and they don't seem to fire where they're supposed to fire. So you sometimes walk through water and you might get more wet just getting to your room late at night than, say, riding a water flume. So anyway, the next part is the room itself. Alrighty, here we are at my room. Right at the end, it's 5732. And of course we use our key. And the key is more than just the key to your door. You can charge things to it, and if you buy certain packages, you can buy food and other things with it. So, before we go into the tour, I want to say that the meal voucher thing is very complicated with this. It comes with certain number of meals, certain number of desserts, certain number of snacks, but if you buy certain things in certain combinations, one item might be considered a snack, but then if you add a drink it becomes a meal, and then some will count as quick meals, i.e. cafeteria style, and then there's the legit sit-down restaurants. It's very confusing, so good luck with that. Some of you smarter people can do that stuff. Anyway, now for the room. Of course, you just saw how I unlocked it, and of course it's got your standard lock here, and it has a deadbolt. And like I said, some maintenance issues with this place, because in order for me to lock this, I gotta actually push on it. So there we go. And now what I'm gonna do is let all the lights warm up because they're compact fluorescents, and we'll continue. Okay, now that everything is all warmed up, let's do a room tour. And here's the room itself. It's a pretty nice room. Nothing really wrong with it. Again, because they have maintenance issues, certain parts of certain rooms may not exactly be as they should. This room happens to be okay. Nothing wrong with it. I start with this carpet. It has the all-star theme. All of the hotels have it. And buildings were built in 1994, and the rugs show it simply because of the wear. They've never been replaced. And we got 2 queen-size beds, I believe they are. And they're very comfortable. Nothing wrong with them. And the linens are clean, and every 4th day they will replace them. And we have very nice, soft, and comfortable pillows. No problem there. Amongst all the resorts, the movies, music, and sports, this is what your room looks like. Only difference will be some of the motif. The border that you see along the top will be different amongst the 3 themes. And here we have a curtain, obviously. And we have a secondary curtain. However, you might have also noticed that there's daylight because I'm reshooting this. The first one was all over the place. You want to make sure that these are completely shut because people can see in your room. And here's your HVAC system right here. And here's your controller. It's pretty easy, however the buttons are a little slow on responding. And you do have a little table here. As you can see, it has a couple of chairs, and they do the Mickey Mouse thing here. Now, again, you can see the age of stuff here because it's old. You can see chair stained, and my laptop is here. I'm gonna pause that because it's gonna finish a video before I get a chance to go. And there we go, back to focus. Of course, we have AM/FM alarm clock radio. These vary depending on the rooms. Haven't seen one that was the same across any of them, which includes the temporary room that I had for our first day that was early. And of course we got the complimentary phone where you can do all sorts of things. One of the things you could also do is check to see how many meals and what have not are left on your room key. If you go over, you wind up having to pay extra at the end. And of course I'm going to only show it real quick, like that. There's the image based on, again, the theme of your hotel specifically. Here's the bathroom since we're looking at it. They do a pretty good job here. Some toilets have been known to gurgle. Seen that. These spray when they flush. They use a massive jet of air to flush things down the toilet. And we have two waste baskets. One here and one at the sink. Get some towels, of course. And we get a nice light and a very noisy fan. They all are noisy. They could use a little help. And again, depending upon the theme of the resort itself, depends on what your surround looks like. Being that this is all-star movies, we have a fake film strip here. And we got a huge shower head. And this looks like one of those emergency call stations that's broke. But in reality, it's a clothesline that attaches there. Inside the shower, I find that kind of odd. And this does look like one of those emergency pull stations that are broke, because what good is it up there, right? But it isn't. And, of course, the traditional bowed curtain rod for the curtains. And again, the curtain, depending on the hotel, is the theme there. Now, some of these bathroom lights, depending on the room, the fan may have a timer switch to it. So some rooms have the option of not having the annoying fan. And when they designed this hotel, they measured everything. Because when we shut the door, which has a hook for your robes, look at how close it comes to the toilet. Talk about a close shave there, huh? Ew. Cleaning issue. Alright, let's move into the separated sink area, which I think is not really a bad thing, especially if you have more than one person. Somebody needs to use the bathroom, somebody wants to wash up, they can do that. There's the sink. It's pretty nice. It runs fairly well. And they provide you with 2 face cloths and 2 hand towels. And we've got ice bucket and some cups. And a complimentary hair dryer, which you have to plug in. And this is not exactly the best place for the outlets. They're usually hidden by this. But the important thing is they're GCFI, so. And of course a mirror. You also get an ironing board, and again we have maintenance issues here because I've noticed in one of the rooms that my family's renting is that the iron don't work. This one works fine. And a keyed safe. So there you go. You take the key with you. If you lose it, you pay. And there's a privacy curtain in case you use the whole bathroom sink thing as a whole, or you just want privacy. And then we got the coat rack with the Mickey Mouse characters. Now this looks a little goofy because, of course, things don't cooperate all the time. Battery died on my copyright preventer, as I will call it. And here's the entertainment stand for the TV. There's some room for small things there. And over here we got plenty of room for clothing and what have not. And hidden here is a mini fridge. And now the weird thing about this mini fridge is if it's running, it'll stop running when you open the door, and it has a little LED light in there. And then when you shut it, the fan will kick back on. I find that kind of odd. And complimentary tissues. And over here have information on the complimentary Wi-Fi. I will tell you that the internet here sucks really bad. I can't even watch a YouTube video on it. It's so slow and choppy. Just updating a Facebook status is painful. But in terms of little things like that, it will do the job, but not very well. And then just your airline check-in material, which at the point you check in, that's kind of pointless. Little greetings and welcome card here. And as for the TV, not all of the rooms have cable. Some of them have satellite, so depending on what you have, depends on the remote and the availability of options. So yeah, some that have satellite will have the option of being able to pull up a menu so you can see what's on the various channels. And in this case, you gotta channel surf to see what you're doing. And then there's the TV itself. It's a 32-inch. Life is good. Picture quality on it is very nice, especially when you're watching HD. Let me just zoom in to get the fisheye out of there, somewhat. Picture quality's good. Standard def, it's a little ringy, although in the case of this little logo, it's also compression based, artifact. So the TVs are really good. Sound quality on them are very good. And that's the room tour. Also, if you go into the, you might have noticed this, just to end, is when you order meals in the cafeteria, for about $14 you get free refills, but you get this, and those refills are good for your entire stay, so that $13 charge isn't so bad when you really think about it, being a Disney resort and such. Yeah, they have maintenance issues here. They don't seem to keep up on things, but most of the times the rooms are fine. This one's pretty good. I got no real complaints. I mean, I just wish they kept things clean, and they do some maintenance every now and then. But overall, if you're on a budget, this room is $90 a night, depending on your packages. And it's considered budget, and in a way you can really tell. So, yeah, if you really want a very nice place to stay, I would skip the 3 resorts. But if you want a decent room on the cheap, this works. So this is my hotel room tour view, and this is George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.